We live in the age of data, but in Major League Baseball, we still measure pitching greatness in inches. Tatsuya Imai just secured a guaranteed $54 million contract with the Houston Astros, yet American analysts aren't celebrating his elite strikeout rates. They are obsessing over a deficit of just 9 centimeters.
What happens when a powerhouse organization bets big on undeniable skill, but hedges every single penny because the pitcher doesn't fit the physical mold? And what does that say about the psychological and structural barriers facing the next wave of Japanese aces? Welcome back to 618 Radar, where we peer through the statistical noise and the physical barriers to find the truth hidden in the pitch count.
Imai is facing a wall that's exactly 180 centimeters tall, and today we are going to expose the cold, hard risk assessment behind his innovative contract. The moment the ink dried on Imai's 3-year, $54 million guarantee, potentially ballooning to $63 million, it was clear this was not a standard signing. This wasn't the kind of long-term commitment the Dodgers gave Yamamoto.
Instead, this contract is a statistical paradox. Massive guaranteed money signaling respect for his dominance, yet structured with heavy performance incentives and annual player opt-outs. Why the caution? The American media, specifically outlets like Essentially Sports, didn't mince words. It's his size.
At 180 centimeters and 80 kilograms, Imai falls significantly short of the 2025 MLB pitcher average of 189.24 centimeters. This isn't just a quirky fact, it's the cornerstone of the Astros' calculated fear. The skepticism centers on what analysts call the intimidation deficit. A taller pitcher releases the ball closer to home plate, making a 150 km/h fastball feel like 155 km/h to the batter. When you lack those crucial few centimeters of extension, critics argue you lose the psychological menace that elite MLB hitters require to respect the strike zone. As one prominent scout, Mac from the AL West, was quoted saying, "Baseball is a game of probability. When a pitcher gives up 9 centimeters of perceived velocity advantage, the front office sees that as an inherent durability and risk factor that must be priced into the deal." That's why the incentives are tied heavily to innings pitched. They need proof of concept. The contract, therefore, functions less like a celebration and more like a carefully constructed insurance policy against the long odds of a small pitcher maintaining dominance over 200 innings in the American League. But this is where the passionate counterargument, the power of the individual, must enter the narrative.
We have already seen the narrative shattered by the success of Yoshinobu Yamamoto, a mere 178 centimeters tall. Yamamoto proved that supreme skill can obliterate the height requirement. Yet we must be sober about this comparison. The internet reaction is quick to dismiss the size concerns, saying Yamamoto succeeded, so height is irrelevant. This is dangerously simplistic.
As baseball analyst Kazuya Taguchi pointed out, Yamamoto's success didn't come simply because he was small. It came because of his legendary, generational control and the mental fortitude forged by a unique, almost obsessive training regimen. Imai is immensely talented, but we cannot simply erase the physical concern because one historical anomaly succeeded.
The reality is, even in the modern game, the vast majority of successful starting pitchers are tall. The small successes like Pedro Martinez and Tim Lincecum, Cy Young winners both, are remembered precisely because they were such powerful exceptions to the rule. The true source of conflict, however, might not be his height at all, but the hidden threat lurking in his fingertips, the infamous MLB baseball. This is the subtle plot twist the Astros are truly hedging against.
Imai has a documented history of requiring mid-game attention for nail and fingertip issues in Japan. The Major League ball is notoriously slicker than the NPD ball, potentially exacerbating his susceptibility to injury and, crucially, destroying the command he has recently solidified. "The control is everything," says pitching coach Dave Baker.
"I don't care if you throw 160 kilometers per hour with the nastiest slider in the world. If you lose command because you can't grip the slick ball, you turn into the dreaded Fujinami pattern. That possibility, that sudden loss of feel, is what keeps GMs awake at night. This fear is why Imai's 3-year deal, in sharp contrast to Yamamoto's 6-year behemoth, suggests the Astros prioritize short-term results and lower physical mileage, hedging against the possibility of a body breakdown or control regression linked to ball adaptation.
The contract isn't hedging against 180 centimeters, it's hedging against the unpredictable chaos of the new environment colliding with a historical physical weakness. But let us end this on a note of empowerment, not anxiety. That opt-out clause, often seen as a sign of team doubt, is actually Imai's greatest weapon. He is guaranteed $54 million to prove every skeptic wrong.
If he commands his high-spin fastball and devastating slider, which scouting reports claim are truly elite, regardless of his stature, and if he adapts to the Major League Baseball, he will pitch deep into games, hit those performance incentives, and by year 3, he will have the leverage to opt out and secure a massive, long-term contract as a proven ace. The 180-centimeter wall is not a barrier, it's the high bar he must clear to earn generational wealth.
Imai Tatsuya is not just fighting for an MLB roster spot, he is fighting to solidify Yamamoto's legacy, that in modern baseball, true intimidation doesn't come from height, it comes from the terrifying consistency of the release point and the vicious bite of the breaking ball. The world is watching to see if he can turn the Astros' calculated risk into his ultimate financial and career triumph.
We want to hear your take. Do you think Imai's height and the resulting intimidation deficit are legitimate concerns, or is his dominant NPB data all the evidence we need to trust his skill? Let us know in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, share this video with a fellow baseball fanatic, and make sure you subscribe to 618 Radar for more unfiltered analysis.